Let's say I was the governor and had a willing legislature. We could pass a bill and say you can't have an abortion in North Carolina for any reason.
For me, there's no compromise on abortion. It makes no difference to me why or how that child ended up in that womb.
Abortion in this country is not about protecting the lives of mothers. It's about killing a child because you aren't responsible enough to keep your skirt down. It's not your body anymore.
That is deranged. And bear in mind that man, Mark Robinson, is already in elected office. He is the lieutenant governor of North Carolina. And if things don't go the right way later this year, could well be the governor. The guy who says that people who become pregnant as a result of being raped, potentially raped by a family member, couldn't keep their skirt down. He talks like someone who used to have a show on NRA TV. He talks like a random troll on Rumble, and he's already in elected office. He wants to have a huge amount of political power over the lives of millions of people, and that's what he says about those people. That's what he thinks about those people. Hey, I'm glad you're here. Listen, in order for the Damage Report to keep on going, we need viewers like you to become a member on YouTube. Can you click the join button on YouTube today? Thank you. And he is filled with hatred and fear and suspicion, not only for women. We're gonna get to his thoughts about the LGBTQ community as well. But Sharon, I don't know how familiar you are with this guy. We've talked about him before, but he's one of the worst individuals, I think, running in the cycle. What do you make of him?
And he's picking up steam. Unfortunately, there's an audience and an appetite for this kind of disgustingness. I just feel for the people who are survivors, who go through this and never ever, victims of incest, victims of rape, who go through this, and it's hard enough to heal. But when you have this garbage being spewed at you and society, it's impossible to feel like you're ever gonna be whole again. I think it's just sick. But the sicker part is not the illness that is him. To me, it's the fact that there's an audience for it. I don't understand why you would want to consume this garbage.
I mean, if you're a hateful small person, I think it's good to focus the attention again onto the victims. You'll notice no rage for rapists. He doesn't seem to have a problem. Like, people are talking in the chat about why is it about keeping your skirt down and not keeping it in your pants? He doesn't care. He does. It's fine for men to go and rape. You should have protected yourself. You are the reason that your rape happened. We've heard that from many, many men, rarely, but not always, rarely, in elected office. And he feels comfortable with that sort of messaging. And unfortunately, as you alluded to, seems to be an audience. If you look at the most recent polls, he's either tied or up by 2 to 5 points in the last 3 polls that we have for North Carolina. He could well become governor. And since we're in Pride Month, if the hair didn't clue you into that, let's remind ourselves of what he thinks about the LGBTQ community as well. Back in 2021, he created an education task force to investigate and pull LGBTQ+ literature from public schools, as well as report instances of LGBTQ+ inclusion in schools. In 2019, he wrote a Facebook post against gender-affirming care for minors, writing that trans children are being, quote, mentally raped by their parents and other supportive adults. In 2017, he wrote on Facebook, "You cannot love God and support the homosexual agenda." So they're being mentally raped by their parents. Wait, but is that a form of rape that's actually bad? Because you seem fine with the more conventional forms. I guess the mental one's the only bad one. In 2023, he declared that God had created him to battle against LGBTQ+ rights and added, quote, "makes me sick every time I see it. A church that flies that rainbow flag, which is a direct spit in the face of God Almighty." In 2021, he compared LGBTQ+ people to cow dung. He's also called them filth. He's told trans people to find a corner somewhere rather than go to the bathroom that matches their gender identity. There are a whole lot of different sorts of people that he doesn't consider people. He believes them to be second-class citizens, if even that. And the government should wage a campaign of obstruction, oppression, vilification, demonization against that. That's what he's campaigning on, and unfortunately, he could be governor. Any other thoughts about him?
I guess I would just have a question for him if I wanted to give him the time of day and I was finished all my laundry. Who hurt you? It's like, who hurt you. And what you've described there, which is accurate, and that is the platform that he's running on, and that's how he's chosen to live his life, is really he wants to exterminate people. And I find that odd coming from someone who looks like him, but he wants to exterminate people who he deems as different or, in his view, demonic, okay, depending on what you believe. I don't know a God who is calling for the things that he's calling for. It's sick.
Yeah, no, he can talk about this in religious terms. And if I were him, I would too. I need to fill in the blanks on why I have such a broken, busted brain like he does. I would pretend that it has something to do with religion. Obviously it doesn't. That's not what the Bible actually says. What this isn't ideology, this isn't religion, this is undiagnosed mental illness. That's all it is. It comes in various forms, and for some people, this is what it looks like. He has a broken brain, his brain doesn't function. And if you think that only affects the way he sees outgroups in society or whatever, well, just give him executive power then, and see what you get when you have a person who can't logically connect the dots. He can't think his way through a day, ruling on a variety of different important topics, choosing what to veto, what to support. That'll be fun for North Carolina. Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.